welcome to what I'm going to call Behind the Names. It's a series where we're going to take a look at the escalations in Hitman 3 and just try and work out where the names come from for them. I know a lot of the Hitman 2 ones have some very interesting names, so we'll take a look at them all while we're going, shall we? In the background you're going to see me playing through a feature contract on Paris, seeing as that's the first map we're going to look at alongside the ICA facility, because there's a couple of escalations on there as well. Starting with the ICA facility, the first escalation is called the Einersen Inception, and this most likely is a reference to the Guðmundar and Geirfinnur case concerning the disappearance of the case name Einarsson in Iceland. Obviously the Einarsson being the name of the escalation. The next one, and the only other one in the ICA facility, is the Snorrason Ascension. Snorrason Holdings being an Icelandic holding company with primary interests in online payment processing. Obviously Iceland being where IO Interactive is based. That's the only other reference we had with Snorrason that I could see. Moving on to the Paris escalations, and there's a lot of them because this was the first map that they released as part of their seasonal stuff, so they started with that and released them as went. So the first one is, we're going in alphabetical order. We've got the Adamoli Fascination, and we have a French collector who's called Pierre Adamoli. And obviously a collector would be fascinated in all the stuff he's collecting, so that's where the fascination part would come from. So I think that's the most likely reasoning behind that. The next one, we've got the Adrian Eclipse. Adrian's a very generic name, so it's very hard to track down what the cause of that would be. And Eclipse, basically where the moon covers the sun and sun covers the moon for solar and lunar eclipses. So a lot of vague stuff there to not really be able to narrow it down. The next one was the Game of the Year edition. We had the Corky Commotion, which was the clown escalation. Corky was the name of the clown in the New Life mission from Blood Money, and I know the Game of the Year edition escalations featured 3 of the characters from those. And obviously Commotion, the clown was basically causing a problem at the party, so that's where that's come from. And Corky's a pretty common name for a clown as well, and it unlocked the clown suit as well. The Ezekiel Paradox. Ezekiel was a Hebrew prophet involved in the destruction of Jerusalem, which in that escalation, when you play it, there's an explosion kill condition. So there's the link there, explosions and destruction. The next one we're going to look at, the Gemini Fiasco. Gemini in astrological sort of stuff is represented by the twins. While that may seem very bland at first, it'll make more sense when I tell you the target for the escalation is Helmut Kruger, who a lot of times around the maps of Hitman 3, Agent 47 will be compared to Helmut Kruger. Basically meaning they look like twins really, and that's going to be where that all comes from. Hexagon Protocol. The Hexagon part is most likely a reference to the fact the nickname of France is the Hexagon. Based on the shape of the country, it looks a lot like a hexagon when you simply draw lines around it. So that'll be where that one comes from. The Holmwood Disturbance. So Holmwood Park was the seat of Mrs. Gough Nichols, widow of Francis Larpent, who was a Judge Advocate General to Wellington's army in the south of France, Holmwood being a rural village in Surrey in England. A very niche one there, so you're not going to really get a lot of knowledge from that. The Kerner Disquiet. Kerner is a grape variety used to make wine, obviously wine being quite popular within France. And also the escalation is revolved around the basement area where all the wine barrels are stored. So even stronger sort of link there as to why that would be the case. The Cotty Paradise, which returned in Hitman 2 and 3. The Cotty is a Twitch streamer who speedruns Hitman. He created the escalation, so it only makes sense that he'd have the escalation named after him. The Mandelbulb Requiem. Mandelbulb is a 3-dimensional fractal and mathematical concept. Nothing you're going to get there that relates to Paris at all that I can think of, or can find at all. The Marsden Isotopy. The Marsden Group are a technology firm, so it could be a reference to where we've got Ether and Kronstadt in the game of Hitman in terms of being a technological firm. The Ostermann Mosaic, the only thing that I could see coming from it was Ostermann, which is a UK and Ireland building company. So definitely nothing links there, but we'll see about that. The Perkins disarray, so we've got John Perkins, who wrote a book called Confessions of an Economic Hitman. Obviously Hitman, well, yeah, Hitman. There is also Perkins Drugs, which is a pharmacy in Paris, so there's that link to it as well, really. The Seeger Beguilement. There's a person called Alan Seeger, who wrote a poem which was called Paris. So, pretty on the nose there, considering this map is based in Paris. We've got the Teague Temptation. So Teague is a design company in Seattle. Yeah, there's not much I'm going to say with that. Teague Chokes also make shotgun chokes and tubes. So, very weird one there. Definitely not much of a link I'd say with that. The penultimate one we've got the Videl Cataclysm. Videl being a character mostly known from Dragon Ball Z. No relation to Hitman, and nothing to do with the character being bald, so again, it's a very shared name sort of thing. It's probably a thing of the developers being a fan of that sort of thing, and hey, let's slot it in there. The final escalation we've got from Paris, we have the Wetzel Determination. And this was an interesting one because the only thing I could find was the company Wetzel's Pretzels, which obviously a food company. Determination, obviously you have the determination to want to go and get something. So I'm thinking someone must have been hungry at their day at work and thought, I want Wetzel's Pretzels, let's name this escalation the Wetzel Determination, because he's determined to get those pretzels. That is all of the escalations for Paris. As I say, a lot of them there have very narrow leads in terms of how relevant they are. However, as we go through the maps and go into more of the Hitman 2 maps, there's definitely a lot more that are going to make sense. For example, in Whittleton Creek, there's one that's based on Home Alone, where you go in the houses, and it's called like the McAllister Ransack, which McAllister, obviously Ken McAllister from Home Alone, ransack when you're invading a property to take stuff. There's going to be a lot more good references later on down the line. So with that said, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more. The next ones will be going on Sapienza, where there's also quite a few escalations. And we'll see you in the next one. And I'll just let the rest of this feature contract play out because it's good to see how it's done with Silent Assassin. Definitely good to enjoy the puzzles sometimes. See you in the next one.